Yeah. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Yeah. I hope my voice is clear to you all. Yeah. Okay, fine. So in the yesterday session, we discussed about view, right? In the yesterday session, we discussed about views, how to create a view. Along with that, we discussed about union and union all, right? Union and union all. We discussed about those things. And now, whichever the topic that not covered by me in the yesterday session pertaining to view, okay, and subquery, I'll cover that. Okay. So today's agenda is to complete a view portion first and then subquery. Subquery. Okay. Yeah. So we will cover this few things. The first one, which is views, and second one is subquery. Okay. So this is our motto for today's session. So just learn this now. So first of all, as we know, right? Whenever we are going to create a view, view is nothing but virtual table, right? View is nothing but virtual table that store the query results without storing the actual data, right? Without storing the actual data. So now let's create a view. Okay. So to create a view, first of all, I need a database, right? I need a database first. So I'm going to create a database, right? We know that to create a database, we need to use a query like create database and database name. So as of now, I'm going to create a view, a database name it as view. Once I run this line, as you can see, after executing this line, you can see the response into the this particular thing, right? Action out, right? We can see that over here. Then, if I refresh my schemas, as we know, whenever we are going to refresh this particular thing, if you are using this for refresh, whichever the data that you created, that is going to appear into the schemas. Okay. So now I'm just going to refresh this. And once I refresh, I just need to check that this database that I created, which actually exists or not. So let me check. Just allow me that. Yeah. So as you can see, I'm having a database which name is view. So now after that, I'm going to use this database which name is view. Okay. So I use view query along with that the name of my database which is nothing but view. Okay. So let me write this another name. Let's create a view one. Okay. As a database. Okay. Yeah. So I just change it, okay, to view one so that I'm not get confused while explaining you the view in the clear way. So okay, that's the so just I just created a database which name as view one and I use that. Okay. After that, we know that whenever you just want to perform something, we need a table. So here in this case, I'm just going to create a table name. Okay. Sorry, I'm just going to create a table here and my table name, which is nothing but employee. So create table name, which is nothing but employees. And after that, here I'm going to assign a name of a features like employee ID. Okay. Employee underscore ID. We know that this employee ID, it can be an integer, right? So in that case, I'm just going to assign a data type it as integer. I assign a data type it as integer, and after that, I need a new feature which is nothing but employee underscore name. Employee underscore name, and for that particular feature, I'm going to assign a data type which is nothing but varchar. So I assign a data type varchar which will accept 100 elements, 100 alphabets into this. And after that, I need a more feature. So in that case, I'm just going to mention department as the next feature. So for that also, I'm going to assign a data type, which is nothing but varchar and I'm going to assign the same elements. So here it will accept 100 elements as a department. And after that, I need a one feature which is nothing but salary. And for that, I need a data type it as a real. So I'm just going to use data type it as real over here. After that, I need a one more feature. Okay, I think yeah, this is fine as of now. Okay, this is fine as of now. After that, I'm just going to close this. Okay, yeah. Once I close this thing, once I close this query, and if I refresh my schemas, and if I go to my database, which is on the schemas section, we are having a views here, right? Which is the view one, which is the name of my database. And I'm having a table over here. Okay, I'm having a multiple table. Okay, let me drop this database first, and I'll re-execute this thing. Drop database view. Okay, I need to drop this first. Okay, and now I'm going to create this database. I'm going to use this database, which is view1, and now I'm going to execute this particular table so that it reflect in my database. So once I refresh it, and if I go to the tables, as of now, I'm having a table which name is employees. And here in that, I'm having a column portion. You can see here. In this column portion, whichever the data type that we have, that we can see here. Employee ID, employee name, department, and salary. These are the names of feature that we can see over here, right? After that, we need some records into this. We need to insert some record into this. But before that, if anyone wants to find out the structure, right? If I'm interested in to find out the structure of a table, which query that I supposed to use? Come on, mention that in the chat. How many of you remember that particular query? Come on, hurry up. Yeah, that's correct, Maita. Absolutely correct. Perfect. Yes, Bhavna, that's correct.
Sir, my chatbot is disabled, sir.
Okay, okay. Instead of saying this thing, you can say the same thing, right? You can give me the response even though, right? Instead of saying my chatbot is disabled, and then I can enable that. Okay. Yeah, that's correct, Ishwar.
Description table
That
name, sir.
yeah, that's correct. That's correct, Ishwar. That's correct, Purnima. That's correct. Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. Gauri. Yeah, that's correct. Perfect. Yeah. So DSC, which will help us to find out the structure, right? Structure of the table. Structure of table, right? So whenever we are interested to find out the structure of the table, we need to use a function which is DESC or describe, which will help us to find out the structure of the table. Structure of the table. So in my case, I'm having a table whose name is employees. So if I execute this particular line, which will give me a structure of the table, right? Structure of the table. That is the point. So now I need to insert some records. So I'm doing the same thing just like I did yesterday. So I'm inserting the records into the table, which is nothing but employees. Okay, employees. And then we need to mention the details of the features. So I'm going to mention employees, sorry, employee underscore ID. The next feature, which is employee underscore name. Then next feature, which is department. Then next feature, which is salary. Okay, salary. And then I need to assign some sort of values over here. So for that, I need to use a function which is nothing but values. And here, in this case, I'm just going to insert some values. The first record that I have here, let's take a employee ID as one. And I'm going to assign a first, like the name of employee. Let's take a Jatin. Okay, let's take Jatin here. And then I'm going to assign a department as IT and a salary. Let's take a salary it as 50,000. And the second record that I'm going to insert here, which is for let's take the first thing, employee ID. I assign the employee ID as 2, and then I'm going to assign a name. Okay. Then I'm going to assign name it as Rajat. Okay. Rajat. Then he is the employee from HR department. HR department, and salary 60,000. 60,000. And then next record that I'm going to insert here for let's take Bhushan here. Okay. And department as finance. Okay. Then salary it as 55,000. Okay. Then next record that I'm going to insert here for employee ID as 4. Let's take a name it as Anil. Anil. Okay. Then department it like department as IT. Salary as 60,000. Okay. Then next record that I'm going to assign here for Reena. For Reena, department as IT. Department as IT. Salary as 60,000 or 70,000. Let's take a 70,000. Then next record that I'm going to add here for ID as 6, name as Mayuri. Let's take Mayuri. Okay. Mayuri as a name. Okay. Department as let's take finance. Okay. Finance here. And then after that, I'm going to assign some sort of numbers like salary here. Let's take 70,000. Okay. Then I'm going to add one more a few more records into this. Second, next record, which is for employee ID, I'm going to assign it as 7. And let's take a name it as Ishwar. Okay. Ishwar. Then department as IT. Salary it as 80,000. Okay. Salary it as 80,000. And next record that I'm going to use here for Deepak. Let's take a record for Deepak as of now. Let's take a record for Deepak. So I'm going to assign ID. Okay, I'm going to assign ID 8 and name I'm going to assign as a Deepak. Then I'm going to assign a department as HR. And let's take a salary. Let's assign a salary here 60,000 or let's take 42,000. Okay. And once I execute this, it will insert all these records into that particular table, which is nothing but employees. Okay. So now after executing the record, I need to retrieve the data. To retrieve the data, we need to use select all from table name. Table name, in my case, my table name, which is nothing but employees. So I'm going to run this line. I'm going to run this line. Help to this particular query, which will help us to retrieve the data. Retrieve the data. That is the point. So once I run this line number 26, it will give me the details of the employees. You can see here. You can see here. Now, after that, I'm going to create my first view pertaining to this particular database. So I'm going to create a first view here. Create a first view here. First view. Okay. So in this case, what I'm going to do here. So for creating a view, we need to write a query, which is create function name it as view and view name. Let's take a view name it as view as IT. IT, and I'm going to use it as select. I'm going to consider employee ID here. Okay, employee ID, employee name, and salary. And salary over here, and salary. Okay, salary from, sorry, yeah, just a second. Yeah, salary from employee, which is my table name, employees, where department is, I'm just taking a salary for IT department, right? So where department is equals to IT. Department is equals to IT. Once I run this line, sorry, we just created view. To verify that that view actually exists in my table or not, we need to check that, right? So I here in this schema section, I'm having an option called view. In that view, we can see the name of view, which is virtual table, which is virtual table. So now I'm going to see the records from this particular view. So I'm just retrieving the data from my view, retrieving the or fetching the data from my view. View name it as view underscore IT. This is my view name. This is my view name. So to retrieve the data from my view, which is nothing but view underscore IT, I need to write a query which is select all from view underscore IT. So view underscore IT, view underscore IT, which is the name of my view. Once I run this, it will give me those records of the employee whose department is IT, whose department is IT. Okay, this is the first view that I created for IT. So earlier, when I insert the data, I mention other department also, right? Like HR and finance. So let's create a view for both. So let's create second view. So I'm just going to create a view here, creating a view, for HR. Okay. So here I need to use the same function, which is create view and view name. Let's take a view name it as HR, as I need to select employee ID. I'm just going to select employee ID like this, but instead of ID, I'm going to use it as HR. I'm going to it as HR. So once I run this line, okay, and if I refresh my schemas, once I refresh my schemas, you can see we are having a new view where we are having a feature name it as, you can see here clearly in the schema section, employee ID, employee name, and salary. We are having those things over here. We're having those things over here, right? Yeah, that's correct. Perfect, Bhavana. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. So we just created a view whose name is view underscore HR. So if I just run this line now, if I run this query, select all from my view name, which is nothing but view underscore HR. And if I run this line, which will give me those employee whose belongs to department as HR. Department as HR. So now we know that we are having another department over here, which is finance, which is sorry, finance. I want you to create a view for department as a HR. So I want you to create a third view for me. Okay, create a view for finance. Just complete that. Just mention that. Just create that. Once you've created, don't forget to mention that into chat. Okay, I think I missed name, but that is fine. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, just I use this name, which is not proper by the way. Just yeah, yeah. So whenever you mention that, just correct this name. Okay, yeah. Okay, fine. So I got a response from only one participant. Okay, I want you to write entire query. Okay, come on, hurry up. Just write entire query instead of writing that small part portion. It will give you a little bit hands-on. Okay, yeah. So I'm just going to use create view, view name that I'm going to create as a view underscore, yeah, view underscore finance. I'm going to use the same name, by the way. This is a spelling mistake that I did here pertaining to finance. Just correct it. Okay. Yeah. And I'm going to consider it as which will select employee ID, employee name, salary from employee, where department as finance. Department is as a finance. So here in this case, instead of HR, I'm going to mention finance here. So I mentioned here in the wrong manner, like spelling of finance is not correct here. Just try to include that in the proper way. So I just run this query. Okay, once I run this query, I just want to confirm that whether I created a view or not. You can see here we are having a view here, whose name is new underscore view underscore finance. Okay, yeah. So now I'm interested in to find out the what we can say. Retrieve the. I'm interested to find out the data from this particular view, which is nothing but finance. So we know that to retrieve the data from this view, we need to mention select all from view name. In my case, my view name, which is this. So I just need to choose this view. So once I run this, it will give me a record for finance, which is nothing but Bhushan. Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. Vasu Prasad, Vasu Sai Prasad Kodi. Yeah, that's correct. Chandrika, correct. Karishma, I think. Yeah. Meghna, Chandrika. Yeah. Mahita, perfect. Bhavna, correct. Ishwar, yeah, that's correct. Perfect. That's correct, Bhavna. Yeah, that's correct. Absolutely correct. We just created the view and we selected the data from that particular view. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So this is the third view that we created. After that, suppose I need a more view. Okay. So I need a more view. Okay. So create a view with the employees. I'm just going to create a view. Create a view for employee. Sorry, I'm just going to create a view for employee with a high salary. With a high salary. Okay. So then here in this case, how we are going to create this view? So create a view, view name. Okay, I'm just going to create a view, create view, and I'm going to create a view name it as view as high salary, high only, high underscore salary. Okay, I assign a name for my view. Okay, view underscore high underscore salary. Okay, and here in this case, I need to mention as once I mention as, then we need to use select employee ID, employee underscore ID, then employee underscore name, employee underscore name. Then I need a salary here. I need a salary from employee, which is my table name, from employee, from employees, where let's take I assume that salary is highest salary, which is 55,000. Let's take that. So I just use a query. I want a salary of an employee whose salary is greater than salary is greater than 55,000. Salary greater than 55,000. So I use a where clause where salary greater than 55,000. Yeah, 55,000. So I'm just going to create a view. View name it as view underscore I underscore salary, where I'm choosing the records of employee whose salary is greater than 55,000. So once I execute this, we are having a view now. We are having a view now. Okay. Just let me, you can see here a view, name it as view underscore I underscore salary. So then after that, what we are going to do here, we need to retrieve the data from this particular view, which we created, where we store the names of the employees, details of the employee whose salary is higher than 55,000. Okay. So if I just mention, like select all from my view name, which is nothing but view underscore I underscore salary. And if I run this line, which will give me those records of the employee whose salary is greater than 55,000. Greater than 55,000. So this is the one view that I created. Now I'm interested in to find out or to create a view. I'm interested in to create a view which store or which consider, let's take which store the names of the details of employee, the details of employee whose salary is less than let's take 50,000, less than 50,000. So I'm just going to create a view. So we know that to create a view we need to mention create view and view name. View as employee salary less than 55, less than 55. This is, sorry, not 55, 50. Okay. I'm just about to create a view of employee salary whose salary is less than 50,000. So I'm going to assign an aliasing name it as, then I need to mention a query like select. I need to mention the details like employee ID, employee name, and salary. So I'm going to use select employee underscore ID, employee underscore name, then salary from my table name, which is nothing but employees, where salary less than 50,000, less than 50,000. Once I run this line, once I run this query, which will help me to create a view which will store the details of the employee whose salary is less than 50,000. So now if I refresh my schemas, then I'm having a view of employee whose salary is less than 50,000. You can see that, right? So now I need to mention a query, select all from this particular view name. Okay. So I'm just copying that as of now. Once I run this line, okay. Yeah. Select all from, I think I forgot to mention from here, right? From this particular view. Once you execute that, it will give me the records of the employee whose salary is less than 50,000. 50,000. That is the point. That is the point. Okay. This is this kind of view that we created. Now, after that, we are going to create a new view. I'm just going to create a view for employees with an average salary. I'm going to create a view for employees with the average salary, with average salary, okay, average salary. Okay. So now how we are going to create this? So here in this case we know that to create a view, yeah, that's correct, guys. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Okay, I'm able to see your charts. Yes, that's correct, absolutely correct. Perfect, guys. Yeah. Correct. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to create a view here. So I'm going to create a view. Create view as average salary of employees. Okay. And here in this case, I just need to mention as select employee underscore ID, then employee underscore name, then salary from my table, which is nothing but employees. Okay. I chose employees. Okay. Average salary. Let's take, instead of average salary, can I take a salary which between 60 to 80,000? Okay, instead of average salary, I'll take a salary. I'm going to take a salary which between 50 and 60,000 and 60,000. Okay, so average salary I'll take view salary employee between 60, sorry, yeah, 50 and 60. This is my view. Okay, so now here, after writing from employees, I need to mention where clause, where salary between 50,000 and 60,000. Once I execute this line, it will create a view for me of employees who's having a salary which ranging between 50 to 60, Now, if I run this line, if I use a query like, if I run this query like select, I'm just choosing select all from a view name, which is nothing but view underscore salary underscore employees. Okay. If I run this line, okay, if I run this line, which will give me the records of employees whose salary which is ranging between 50 and 60, whose salary which is ranging between 50 and 60. This is the point. Okay, this is the point. Okay, yeah. Okay, so this is one kind of view that we can create. Okay, so now after that, suppose I just want to drop this view. I'm interested in to drop this view. How to drop that? So we need to use a query like drop view and view name. And if I execute that, which will drop this view. And if I refresh my view as of now, we are not having that view. Just allow me a minute. Let me check. Yeah, we are not having that view as of now. This is the point. Okay. To drop a view, we need to write this query. To drop the view, we need to use this particular line. Okay, that is the thing. After that, what we are going to do here, I want employees. I want a view of employees. Whose name start with a J. Whose name is start with the J. Starts with J. How we are going to consider that? Let's see. Okay, J. So I want a view here of employee whose name started with J. So here I'm going to create a view now. So create a view. Sorry, my bad. Create a view create view, name it as view of J employees. J employees. Okay. As I'm going to use select. I'm going to use select. Okay. Select employee underscore ID. Employee underscore ID. Let me. I want this data first. So yeah, just let me check. Just allow me a quick second. What was my table name? Yeah, this was my table name. I need some data here. Yeah. So I'm just about to create a view here. So for that, I mention a create view. View name is view underscore J underscore employee as select, where I'm going to choose employee ID, employee name, employee name. Okay. Then department. Okay. Create a view name as this, and this is my feature names that I want in this view. In this view, from my table. Okay, let me write salary also. Okay, I choose employee ID, employee name, department, and salary. And salary from my table name, which is nothing but employees, where where employee underscore name, like in quotes, I need to mention start with a J modulus, just like we discussed in the last session pertaining to wildcard. So if I run this particular query, okay, we just created a view. Where we are having a names of the employee whose name started with S, whose name starting with S or started with S. So to retrieve the data from this particular view, we know that we need to just write select all from view underscore J underscore employee. View underscore J underscore employee. Once I run this line, which will help me to find out the names of the employee whose name started with a J, whose name started with a J, whose name is started with a J. So then here, in this case, what I'm going to do, suppose I just find out the names, I just created the, what we can say, view here. I just created a view here which give me the records of the employee whose name started with a J, whose name started with a J, whose name started with a J. Along with that, okay, along with that, we are having a value. Okay, just allow me a quick second. Allow me a quick second. So now after that, I want a view here. I want a view here whose name is started with a, whose name is started with sorry, ends with a S. Ends with a S. I want you to create a view for me. Create a view for me. View of employees whose name ends with ends with S. Ends with S. So how we are going to use that? In this case, the thing is we need to do one small change. Which is nothing but instead of like this J, no, we need to use that modulus, and after modulus we need to mention S over there, right? So I want you to guys to write a view for me, and once you write, don't forget to mention that into the chat. Into the chat. Yeah, that's correct. I got a response from only 10 participants. I want more. Okay, I want more. Yeah, that's correct, Ishwar. That's correct, Mahita. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, Bhavya, Vinod, Chandrika. I want you to write an entire query, not a single one. Okay, not don't do like this. Okay, I want you to type entire query into the chat section, not just keywords only. No, not like that. Okay, come on, hurry up. Take your time. Type a query and paste that into the chat section. You want us to turn on the chat? No, just utilize this chat in the positive way now. Yeah, come on, hurry up. Not a single line, okay? I want complete entire line, not a single one. Not like that, Sanidhi. Just type it. Type an entire query and paste that into the chat. Come on, entire query, not a single line. Only 4 participants mention a query in the proper way. Yeah, Priyanka, that's perfect, correct. Yes, Santi, yeah, that's correct. Varshita, Sheikh Sana, Shakila, yes, that's correct, perfect. Yes, Karisma, yes, Joshnavi, yes, that's correct, perfect. Yes, Seena, perfect, absolutely correct. Yes, that's correct, Sanidhi. Now it's perfect. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, Bhavana, Purnima, Supraja, yeah. So let's write this query now. Let's write this query. So we know that if we are interested in to find out the names of the employees whose names ends with a s, then we need to write a query like, okay, I'm just going to create a view. Okay, so create a view which that view whose ends with the s from a table which is nothing but employee, and we need to write a query like select employee id, employee name, department, so on and so forth, and we need to mention that in the way like, instead of this j, I need to mention s after that, right? After modulus, I just need to mention s over there. After that, I just need to mention s over there. So I think yeah, that's correct. Okay, fine. So now if I execute this particular line, we just created the view. And now if we are interested in to find out the names of the employee whose name is ends with s, then we need to write a query, okay, which is like create a view, sorry, not create a view, select a view, okay. Select, yeah, select all from view name, which is nothing but view underscore s underscore emp. Once you mention that, which will help us to fetch the records of the employee whose name it ends with a s. But as of now, if I run this query, where is that? If I run this query, I'm not having the employee name whose name ends with the s, whose name is ends with s. So instead of that, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do a small change over there. Instead of s, I'm going to mention n over there. Okay, and now I'm going to change this view as n. Okay, And now I'm going to do some sort of changes also over here as an n. Okay. And now if I execute, you can see it gives us those employees name whose name ends with a n, whose names ends with a s. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's correct, guys. Yeah, absolutely correct. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, correct. Perfect. Yeah, correct. Shakila, Shanti, Vaishnavi, Bhavya, Meghna, Chandrika, Chintala. Yeah, that's correct. Perfect. Yeah, that's correct, guys. Absolutely correct. Okay. So this is the one thing. Suppose I'm interested in to find, I just want to create a what? I just want to create a view of employee where we are have that employee contain a name, contain an alphabet O into it. So I want you to create a view for me, like entire query, create a view, for employees with the names containing O into this, O into it, O into it. Let me check that I'm having those names with me or not. Whether I'm having a O into that, let me check. Yeah. Not really. I don't think so. I'm having a. Okay. Let's take. Uh. mm, A. Let's take A instead of O. Use A. Okay. I want you to create a view for me. View of employees with a name containing A into this. A into view. So I got a response from only one participant, Ishwar. Okay, perfect. That's correct. Absolutely correct. Others, come on, hurry up. Mention that in the chat. Yes, perfect, Maita. Let me check. Yeah, that's now it's fine. Yeah, that's perfect. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Perfect. Correct, Maita. Yeah. What about others? Come on. Hurry up. Just create a view for me. Create a view for me of a names of the employee whose name containing A into it. Come on, hurry up. I got response from only two participants. What about others? Only two. What about others? Come on, don't be shy. Okay. I got total overall four responses as of now pertaining to this particular query. Yeah. Okay. Perfect, Hina. If you're considering for O, then this is the query. That's absolutely correct, Hina. Yeah, Shakila, that's absolutely correct. Perfect. If you're considering for O, then the query that you write, which is absolutely correct. Perfect. Others, Supraja. Yes, perfect. That's absolutely correct. Perfect. Yeah. Dinesh, yes, perfect. Varshita, perfect, correct. Karishma, yes, if you're considering for O, then it's correct. Yes. But the name of your view, just check that once. Okay. Yeah, that's correct. Now it's fine. Yes, that's perfect. Chintala, Bhavya, perfect. Bhavyashri, that absolutely correct. Perfect. So let's create a view as of now. Let's create a view. Let's create a view. Yeah, that's correct, Bhavya. That's correct. Absolutely correct. Yes, Vaishnavi, that's correct. Perfect. So here we need to do one small change only. Okay. So here I just need to mention a query which is like, just allow me a quick second. Yeah. So here in this case, I just need to do a small change. Here I need to mention A and modulus symbol. Once you run this line, which will give sorry. Acha, okay, I mentioned A, right? So yeah, N here, that's why. So, okay, fine. So instead of this N, I need A here. So once I run this line, it will create a view for us. And now we can see that. Yeah, that's correct. Perfect. Joshnavi, that's correct. That's correct, Chandrika. Yeah, that's correct, Chandrika. Perfect. Yeah. So as of now, I'm interested in to find out the or create a view of the employee whose name containing A into it, right? So as of now, I created a view, then I need to retrieve the data from that view. To do that, we need to mention select all from view name. This is my view. This is my view. Once I run this, after execution of this, I think we are having all names whose names containing A into it. So that's why it give me the records, like all records. We are having in Jatin also we are having a in Rajat also we are having the same, right? Bhushan, Anil, Reena, Mayuri, Ishwar, Deepak, right? So almost all names having A into this, right? A into this. That's why. Okay. So this is the thing. So we just created the view. We just created the view. That's it, right? And now, so whichever thing that we applied till now, kindly after the session, try to implement this thing. Just type this SQL query, whichever the SQL query that we learned till now. Okay. Practice it a little bit and everything will be crystal clear to you. Okay. So as of now, yeah. So let after that, I am going to create a view for multiple table. I'm interested in to create a view for multiple table. Let's create a view for create a view for create a view for multiple table. So how we earlier, as you can see, we just use one table, right? We created a one table which is employees, and we use that. We created this table which is nothing but employees, and we use that. What if I just want to create a view for two table then? Two table, then how we are going to create that? So let's see that as of now. So here I'm going to create a view, sorry, not view. As of now, I need a table first. So we know that to create a table we need to mention create table and table name. In my case, I'm just going to create a table, name it as student. Okay, and in that I'm going to assign a feature, the first feature, which is id, data type it as integer, and next student name, student underscore name, student underscore name. We know that name is a categorical data. For categorical data we need to apply varchar. I'll assign 20. So as a name it will accept a 20 alphabet. As a name it will accept a 20 alphabets over here. Then after that I'm going to assign up another feature which is nothing but age, and I'm going to consider age as for age data type as an integer. So now after that I'm going to run this line. Okay. So once I run this line, if I refresh my schemas and if I check that whether I'm having that table or not with me. So just allow me a minute. Yeah. So in this case, yeah, we are having a table here which is nothing but student, where I'm having a columns like ID, student name, age. We can see that over here. We can see that I just created this table, and after creating this table I need some records into this. So I'm going to insert some record. So insert into table name, which is nothing but student. Here in this case I'm just going to mention my table name. I'm inserting a data into my table which is nothing but student, and here I'm directly going to mention some sort of values over here. Values, the name of the first I'm going to assign an id. Let's take id as 1. And let's take a name it as Vibin. Let's take Vibin. Okay, Vibin. Okay. And age, let's take age it as 24. This is the first record. Yeah. Then second record that I'm going to use, which is for Kunal. Okay. Let's take age it as 25. But I did one small mistake. Anyone? I hope you noticed that.
Sir,
What
you
do you?
missed the ID, sir.
Yes, that's correct, Baba.
ID,
Absolutely correct.
sir.
Yeah, that's perfect. So whenever you insert a data, we have to be mindful of the data. So I just need to mention the ID here, which is 2. Okay. So I inserted it just, yeah. Mute yourself. Yeah. Well, mute yourself, please. Yeah. Then I need a next record. So I'm going to insert a new record here with ID as 3, ID as 3, and I'm going to assign a student name it as Avinash. Okay. Let's take a age it as 26, and I'm going to run this line. Okay. I think I missed few. Okay. Along with that, I forgot to mention comma. No, that's all. Yeah. So if I execute this, it will accept that value. And now, after inserting, I need to retrieve the data first. So here, so we need to use select all. Okay, select all from my table name, which is nothing but student. Once I run this line, which will help me to fetch the values from the table which I created. Now, after that, I'm going to create a new table. So I'm going to create a new table. So for that, I'm going to use a query like create a table and table name in my case, which is nothing but course, which is nothing but course. And here in this case, I'm going to assign a feature. I'm going to assign some sort of feature here. In this case, I'm going to assign a feature. Let's take a first feature, it has ID. And for ID, I'm going to assign a data type as an integer. Sorry. Then second feature that I want, which is for course, and course is a categorical data, right? Like Power BI, Tableau, Python, right? Data science, data analytics, right? So that's why we need to use a data type it as varchar, and which will accept a course name with a 20 alphabets. Then I'm going to close this one. Once I close this, okay, I just created this table. I just created a table. Now I'm going to assign some sort of values into this. So I'm going to use insert into my table name, which is nothing but course. Okay, course. And here I'm without mentioning the name of the feature, I'm just going to use the values. I'm directly inserting some sort directly inserting values here. So now here I'm going to assign an ID as 1. Let's take a course as a data science, data analytics, data analytics, data analytics. Okay, DA. I just use shortcut abbreviation here. So then second record that I'm going to use, and for that I'm going to assign a course as data science, DS, data science. And third record that I'm going to mention here for third ID. Okay, third ID I'm going to mention data engineering, data engineering, data engineering. So once I run this, we just inserted a record into the table whose name is table, sorry, course. So I just need to retrieve the data. So for that, I need to write select all from my table name, which is nothing but course. Once I run this line, which will give me the records in this way. Now, earlier I said, right, we are interested in to create a view. We are when we are having a multiple table. So here I'm going to create a view. I'm going to create a view. I'm going to assign a name as a combo as I'm going to write select from student table. I'm going to consider ID from student table, I'm going to consider student. I'm going to consider what was the feature? Let me check. Yeah, student underscore name. Okay, from student ID, sorry, student table, I'm going to consider student underscore student. Yes, that's correct. Student underscore name. Okay. Then after that, I'm going to use a comma. And from course table, I'm going to consider course only. Course, course. And here I'm going to take that from student table and course table. Course table. Student table and course table, where student student.id is equals to course.id. Course.id. Because if you observe in student table, we are having a one feature which is ID, and from in course table, we are having a one feature which is also ID, right? So we are going to use this two features from both different tables like student and course. We are just considering ID to consider the link here. So once I execute this, it will execute, and now I'm going to see the records. So I need to mention select all from my view name, all from my view name. So in this case, we know that our view name is combo. So select all from view name, which is nothing but combo. Once I run this, it will give me the records of the students based on the view which we just created. This is the thing that we need to understand. Yeah, this is the thing that we need to understand. Okay. Yeah, that's correct, Chandrika. Perfect. Absolutely correct. Yeah. So this is the thing that we need to understand. So this is about a view, whichever thing that we learned today and yesterday, kindly practice that. Okay. Don't forget to practice it. We are humans, right? After a few days, we are definitely going to not remember entire thing. So that's why we need to do a practice, right? So now, so let's dive into the next topic as of now. Let's dive into the next topic, which is nothing but subqueries. Let's dive into the subqueries. Let's dive into the subqueries. Okay, yeah. So here, I need a database. Okay, I need a database. So just allow me just give me a minute. I don't need a lot of things here. So just allow me a minute. Yeah. Okay, fine. Okay. So now let's create a database first. So I'm just going to create a database. Create database. Let's take a name of a database as a subquery. Sub underscore queries. Queries. Okay. Sub underscore queries. So once I create this database, if I directly insert a value, what do you think? Will it work? Or if I once I create a database and if I create a table, what do you think? Will that table accept it in this particular database or it give me error? What do you think?
Sir, it's stored in before database, sir. If you use the uh, direct database, it's stored in subquery, sir.
Okay. So what if I write this query, will it execute? Bhavya?
Sir,
So I created this database as of now, right? I
yes,
created this
sir.
database without using this database, and if I execute this query, what do you think? Will it execute or it give me error?
Sir, it's showing the combo table, I mean, view data, sir.
Okay, let's try. Yes, your answer is correct. Perfect. So we created the database. We not use the database. As of now, we are using the previous database. Okay, yeah. So answer of your is correct, Bhavya. That's absolutely correct. Okay. Yes, Mahita. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's correct, guys. Okay. Yeah. Okay, fine. So now let's dive into the next thing. So I created this database. You can see here it's executed, right? So now if I just want to use this database, we need to use a query which is like use and the database name. In my case, my database name, which is nothing but subqueries. So I'm going to use that as of now. Once I run this, now we are ready to use this particular database. So now let's create a table. Let's create a few table. Let's create a table as of now. So I use this query. I use this query to use this subqueries database. So now let's create a table first. Let's create a table. So I'm going to create a table. I'm going to assign the name for this particular table as a department. I'm going to create a table, name it as, okay, I'm going to create table, and I'm going to assign the name for this table as department. And here in this case, I need few features, two features. I'm just going to consider ID, integer, and primary key. So how many of you remember? The features, the important key points which provided by the primary key? If you remember that, just mention that in the chat. Everyone, come on, hurry up. I want you to write the important points of primary key. Come on. Meanwhile, I'll type the next feature. Come on. I got a response from only 2 participants. What about others? I know that it's Saturday. Come on, don't be shy. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I got a response from only 4 participants out of 82. Now I got from 7. Yes. Okay. Okay. Santi, I think I'm pronouncing your name correct. Varshita, Ajay, Bhavya, Karisma, Hina, Vaishnavi, Vasusai Prasad, Chandrika. Yes. Mahita. Perfect. Supraja. Yes. Ishwar. Yes, that's correct. Bhavya. That's absolutely correct. Okay. So first thing, we know that whenever you are going to consider a primary key, which will not accept a duplicate value, it will not accept a null values, it will not accept duplicate value. And for one table, we can use only one primary key. And if you are using that primary key for two features, then we can say that primary key as a composite key. We know that. We discussed that earlier, right? Yeah. Okay, okay, that's correct, Meghna. Joshnavi, yeah, Bhavya, yeah, that's correct, Meghna. Perfect. So this is the thing. So I just need to run this line to use this department table. So I'm just going to run this line. Once I run this line, then I can use this table. So once I create this table, I need to insert some records into this. So we know that I need to use insert into and table name, which is nothing but department. I think I write this correct, right? Let me check. Yes, it is. Okay. Insert into department. I'm directly going to use values into this and ID, that the first ID that I'm going to use here, which is 1. And let's take a name. I'm just assigning a name as IT here. Then second record which belongs to name, I'm just taking a name it as HR. Third record for Gopijan, just mute yourself. Yeah. Then third record for finance. Now I'll write this name proper. Yeah. So After that, I'm going to run this line so that which it directly insert some sort of values into this table, which is nothing but department. So I'm just going, after that, I'm going to retrieve the data from the department table. Select all from department table. So once I run this, whichever the data that we have pertaining to this, this thing, okay, this table, which we can see here. So as of now, in department table, we are having ID and name. Okay. For 1, 2, total, we are having 3 ID and name it as IT, HR, and finance. Right? Finance. Yes, that's correct. So after that, I'm going to create a new table. I'm going to create a new table over here. So create a table. Create a table. I'm going to assign a name for this table as EMP. Okay. In this case, I'm just going to insert a feature name as an ID, data type as a serial, and primary key. Then after that, I'm going to use new feature, which is name, which is categorical data. So that's why I assign a data type as a varchar, as a varchar. Yes, okay. I think I missed. Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, after that, here, once I run this, okay. After that, once I run this, okay, where I was, okay, fine. I need one more feature. I miss. So, okay. So after name, I need another feature, which is salary. Data type as an integer. Data type is as an integer. Salary, I'm just going to consider as an integer. And then here, I'm going to use a new feature, which is nothing but department ID. Department ID, data type as an integer. Then after that, so as of now, I'm just going to create a table, which is nothing but employee, where I'm choosing a feature, name it as ID, name, salary. Okay. And the next feature that I'm going to use here, which is department ID. Department ID. Department ID. So here, what I'm going to do here as of now, here in this case, after considering this, I am going to use a constraint here, which is foreign key, which is foreign key, which is foreign key. In this case, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to assign a feature here, which is nothing but department ID, department ID, department ID, and I'm going to refer this. I'm going to use a function called references to my department table, to my department table, to my department table pertaining to column, which is ID. What I'm trying to do here, basically, in this case, I'm trying to link these two features together. These two features together. These two features together. Okay, that is the thing. Yeah. So after that, what I'm going to do here, first of all, if I write this, okay, and if I run this particular line, after that, we can see the thing here. We just implement a table here, and now I'm going to see the structure of this table, DESC and table name, which is EMP. Once I run this particular line, after execution of this line, you can see in the key section, we are having one point, which is nothing but MUL, which is nothing but foreign key. After seeing a DESC and employee, And if you are getting inside the key section, if you are getting MUL, which is nothing but multi key, by the way, and whenever you are seeing this, this says that this is nothing but foreign key. We apply a foreign key. We link two features with each other. Two features with each other. So this is the thing. Now, after considering that, I'm going to insert some sort of values here. Some sort of values here. In this case, I'm going to mention insert into my table name. My table name is EMP, right? EMP. So I'm just going to write that over here, EMP. And in that EMP, I'm going to mention a feature like name. After name, I'm going to use salary, then department ID, then department ID. I'm going to consider those three things here, department ID. And after that, I'm going to use values over here. I'm going to use values over here, and values like the first values like I'm directly going to assign, as you can see, I just mentioned here name, salary, and department ID. Salary and department ID. So here I'm going to assign the first name as Ravi. First name as Ravi. Then salary as, let's take salary as 60,000. And department name, department ID that I'm going to use here as a 1. So the first record that I mentioned here, ID, okay, don't worry about as ID as of now, serial that we use, which means 1. Serial ID would start with 1. And name that I assign here, which is Ravi. Salary that I mentioned here, which is 60,000. 60,000. And I mentioned department ID as a 1. Department ID as a 1. So then after that, I'm going to mention the second record over here. Second record that I'm going to assign for Priya. Okay. Then here for Priya, I'm going to assign a salary as 80,000. And I'm going to mention department ID as a 2. Department ID as a 2. Then third record that I'm going to use here. Just allow me a quick second here. Yeah. Third record I'm going to mention here. And third record, which belongs to Mohan. And salary as 75,000. Salary as 75,000. And I'm going to assign the department ID as 2 here. Department ID as 2 over here. Department ID as 2 over here. And fourth record that I'm going to use for Shilpa. Okay. Shilpa. Okay. And I'm going to assign a salary for Shilpa as 90,000. Okay. And let's take a department as 1. Okay. Let's take a department as 1. And the last record that I'm going to use here for Manoj. And salary 85,000. And let's take a department ID as a 3. Basically, what we are trying to do here, we use a second record which belongs to Priya. We assign a salary as 80,000. We mention department ID as 2. And third record, which belongs to Mohan, salary as 75,000. Salary as 75,000, department as 2. And fourth record, which I'm going to assign for Shilpa. Shilpa, salary as 90,000 and department ID as 1. Then the fifth record that I'm going to use here for Manoj, and salary as 85,000 and department as a 3. Basically, what we are trying to do here, I mentioned one here, right? I mentioned one here. This one, the record of Ravi, he is an employee of IT department. Priya, okay, Mohan, those are the employee of HR department. Shilpa, working in IT department, and Manoj, working in finance department. That is the meaning that we are trying to derive here. Okay, that is the meaning that we are trying to derive here. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, now let me run this line first. Okay, what I mistake? What I did? Okay, fine. Okay, now it's fine. So once I execute this, we inserted a record into the table. Now we need to retrieve the data. We need to retrieve the data from table. So here, what I'm going to do here. So as of now, I'm going to see the record from my table, which is employee. So I'm going to use select all from my table, which is nothing but EMP. So once I run this line, you can see it gave me all the records from my EMP table. That is the thing. Now, after that, suppose I just want to find out the average salary. Average salary from employee table, by the way. Then I just need to write select average function here. Okay. Then I need to mention a column which I have, which is nothing but salary feature that I have, which is nothing but salary. Okay. I'm going to assign an aliasing name it as average salary. Average salary. Average salary. Average salary from my table, which is nothing but EMP employee. So once I run this line, which will help me to fetch the average salary. This is the average salary. Average means what? We need to take, as of now, we are having a 5 values, right? 5 records 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 60, 60, 80, 75, 90, 85. Add all those value and divide those value by 5, which will give you the average salary, which is exactly equal to this. This is the point. Okay. Average salary. Then after that, what I'm going to do, I just want to see the names of the employee whose salary is greater than average. I'm interested in to find out the names. Okay. Names of employees whose salary is greater than average. Okay. Then after that, what I'm going to do here, I'm interested in to find out the names of the employee whose salary is greater than average salary, which is nothing but average salary is 78,000, right? Yes, 78,000. I want to see the names of the employee whose salary is greater than 78,000. Okay. So now how we are going to see that? Let's try that. So here, in this case, we are going to use a subquery. Query inside a query. Query inside a query, we can consider it as a subquery. That is the point. So now, here, I am interested to find out this, the records like. So I'm just want name salary from employee table, EMP table, where salary is greater than average salary. This will give me average salary, right? Average salary. Okay. So I just chose, I know that as of now, this particular part, which will give me average salary as a 78,000. Average salary as 78,000. Average salary as 78,000. So, and this particular line, name salary from employee table, which will give me names salary from this table of employees whose salary is greater than 78,000. Like we are having a Priya here, Shilpa, Manoj, those salary is greater than average salary. So now once I execute this particular line, then it will give me the records of Priya, Shilpa, and Manoj because they are earning more than 78,000. More than 78,000. That is the point that we need to understand. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Maita. Yeah, that's perfect. Absolutely correct. Yeah, that's correct. This is the thing, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah, perfect. Then after that, just allow me a quick second. Yeah. So after that, what we are going to do, we are going to use a clauses different. We are going to use order by here along with a where clause. So we know that. So how many of you remember the use of order by? What do you think? Which kind of response it will provide us? Come on, mention that in the chat. We are having a lot of participants. I just want a response from your end. So how many of you remember order by? Only one. Only two. Okay. Yes, Varshita, Ishwar, Ajay, Santi, Vaishnavi. That's correct. Perfect. What about others? Yes, Mahita, that's correct. Sort data. Yes, Hina, perfect. That's absolutely correct. What about others? Chandrika, perfect. Mudra, okay, correct. Chintala, yes, correct. Yeah, that's absolutely correct, right? So we know that whenever we are interested in to find out or sort out the data, sort out the data in ascending order, okay, ascending order or descending order, we are going to use order by function. We are going to use order by function, right? So that is the point. So this is the thing that we need to understand. So now let's implement that. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, that's correct, Josvi. Yeah, that's correct, Meghna. So, but the thing is, in terms of subqueries, order by will not work well. In terms of subqueries, order by, in terms of subquery cannot use order by in where clause. Order by in where clause. Okay, that is the point. So in this case, what we are going to do, let's try that whether it's providing us the record or not. But let us just find out the thing first. So here I'm going to use select. I'm going to use select name, then salary from my employee table. Employee table. After that, I'm going to use order by. Order by. I'm going to use order by salary. Now, what do you think, guys? Which kind of records it will give me? Come on, mention that in the chat. I want response from all of you. Come on, hurry up. Suppose if I run this line number 160, what do you think? Which kind of things, which kind of response it will provide me in the chat? Come on, hurry up. Mention that in the chat. Only one participant responded. Okay, others? Yes. Perfect. Ishwar, Varshita, Ajay, Bhavna. Yeah. Chandrika, Karishma, Santi. Yes, that's correct. Okay. So, which will sort out the data based on salary. It will give me those records who are having a least salary to highest salary, lowest salary to highest salary. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. Yes, that's correct. Okay. So now, if I run this query as of now, which will give me a records from the table from lowest to highest, Ravi earning 60K and Shilpa earning almost 90K. So in the lower to higher based on the salary, right? We can see that. Suppose if I just apply DESC, it will give me the record in terms of the descending order, highest to lowest, highest to highest to lowest. That is the point. That is the point that we need to understand. Yeah, that's correct, Bhavana. Yes, Mahita. Correct. Yeah. So then let's implement the, as of now, we can see if I run this particular line, which will give me this kind of records, But what if I use in this different way? In this case, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to write the query like select name from my table, which is nothing but EMP, where I'm going to use where clause salary equals to, and in this case, I'm just going to use a query like select. I'm going to use select salary from employee EMP order by salary and I'm going to use DESC. We know that if I just select this particular thing separately, if I copy that and if I run this particular line, which will give me the records in this way: highest salary to lowest salary, And here I just mentioned that I'm trying to find out the employees with the highest salary. I just mentioned that. Select salary from employee. Order by salary DESC. And once I execute this, if I execute this, it throws an error. Because as we mentioned earlier, in subqueries, we cannot use order by in where clause. Means in terms of subqueries, if you are using an order by, which will not work properly, okay, which will not work properly. If in this case, if you're using a multiple values in terms of the subqueries, it will not provide you the records. So, but if I just use limit one here, and if I execute this particular line, in that case, it will provide me the details. It will provide me the name for having the highest salary. Always remember that if you are using an order by inside a subquery, it will not work fine. If you are considering for the multiple values, it will not provide you the details. Okay, whenever you are going to use subquery, this subquery is supposed to provide only single value. If that single value is providing to us, and then only it will provide us the detail. So the thing is, if you are using order by, with the help of the order by, try to find out only one value. Only one. And once you execute that, which will give you the record in this way. If you are not using a limit one, and if you try to find out that, at that time, it will give an error. It will give us the error. This is the thing. So in this case, what we did here, I just find out, okay, I just find out the name. I find out the name of the employee who are having highest salary with the help of subquery. Okay, with the help of subqueries, we find out that. Okay, yeah. So then after that, what I'm going to do here, suppose if I write a query, which is like select, if I mention that max salary from my table, which is nothing but EMP. If I run this, which will give me a maximum salary, right? Which will give me maximum salary, max salary as 90,000. Yes, 90,000, right? Suppose we are trying to find out the employee with the highest salary. Okay. So we can use the same thing here. Suppose if I write this little bit. Okay. If I write SO here, I choose select name from employee where salary is is equals to, and here in this case, I'm just going to choose select max salary. max salary from employee. I'm just going to ignore this particular thing as of now. And once I execute this, which will provide me the name of employee who are having the highest salary, whose name is Shilpa in this case. Whose name is Shilpa. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, you can say that. Yeah, that's perfect. Ishwar. Okay, this is the thing. So now let's understand the next thing as of now. So before that, let me drop the table first. So here I'm going to drop my table which I created, which is nothing but employee. So I'm dropping that table. So to drop the table, we need to use drop table name, which is nothing but employee. Once I run this line, okay, I just drop this table. I just drop this table. I just drop this table. Just focus on the concept, Namani Babu. We'll update you. Okay, don't focus on the certificate and all. Yesterday I did the same thing. Don't do this. Okay. Yeah, I drop this table. I drop this table. Okay, I drop employee table, and then after that I'm going to drop department table also. So I'm going to drop table name is as a department. Okay, department. I just dropped it. The both table now as a employee and department. Okay, employee and department. Fine. So then after that, I'm going to create a new table. I'm going to create a new table. So I'm going to mention create table, and I'm going to create a table name it as. Okay, after dropping it, I'm going to use the same table, which is department. Okay, and in that table, I'm going to assign some sort of features like ID, data type it as integer, primary key that I'm going to assign here. After primary key, then the next feature that I'm going to consider, which is name, data type it as varchar. It will accept 20 elements as a name. And then I'm going to close this as of now. I'm going to close this. Once I close this, I need some records here. So I'm going to use insert into table name. My table name is department. So in this, I'm going to add some sort of values over here. Values. Like I forgot to mention colon here. That's why, yeah, now it's fine. Okay. So then I need to mention ID here. And after ID, I'm going to use the department name as IT. Then the next record that I'm going to use for HR. Okay, let's take name as HR, and I'm going to execute this. After that, I'm going to create a new table. I'm going to create a new table. Create a new table, which is nothing but EMP1. And here, in this case, I'm going to assign a feature name as ID, data type as serial. I'm going to assign a primary key over here. After that, I'm going to assign a next feature as name, data type as varchar, which will accept 20 elements, 20 alphabets and as a name. Then next feature that I'm going to use, which is salary. And for that, I'm going to use a data type as real. And after that, I'm going to create a new feature, which is nothing but department ID. Department ID. I'm going to assign a data type as integer, and then I'm going to use foreign key in this case. Foreign key. Basically, I'm doing the same thing that I did earlier. So I'm going to create the same thing here. So I'm going to use foreign key. I'm applying a foreign key on department ID, and I'm going to refer this. I'm going to refer this to the previous table, which is nothing but department, which is nothing but department. And in that department, just allow me a second, department, we are having a one feature, which is nothing but ID. So that I'm linking those things together. Okay. And now I'm just going to close this table. Once I execute this, so as of now, we are having a new table, which is nothing but employee one. And after that, I'm going to insert some sort of records into this. So insert into my table name, which is nothing but emp1. And here I'm going to assign some sort of values. Okay, not in this emp1. Yes, I need some features which I mentioned. ID, name, salary, department ID. I'm going to use ID. Then name, or don't take ID because we use data type as a serial for ID. That's why I'm not mentioning ID here. I'm directly using a name here, name. After that, I'm using a salary feature, then department ID. And for that, I'm going to assign some sort of values. And here, I'm going to assign a values like values. Let's take a value here. Okay. Just allow me a quick second. Assigning a value here, the same as the previous one. Let me check whether yeah. Okay. And I'm just going to execute that. Okay. Salary failed. That's a spelling that I mentioned here, which is not proper. So let me write salary in the proper way. Yeah. So I'm going to insert that as of now. Okay, fine. Let me check. So I think I missed something. I inserted records. Okay, I think I forgot to create a table first. Fine. Table already exists. Fine. Okay, let me drop this table first. Let me drop this table. Which is nothing but EMP1. Sorry, EMP1. Yes. Okay, as of now, I'll use the same table that I used earlier. I'm just using the same table. Here in this case, I'm just going to mention EMP1. Yeah. I'm inserting some sort of records here. Okay, fine. Let's take subquery EMP not exist. Okay, fair enough. Let me take finally I'll use the same thing. Department table. Department is also exist. I need to drop that also. Drop table, which is a department. I'm going to drop that so that can I drop prefer the foreign key constraint. Okay, fine. Let me drop the database first. I created this one. Okay. I create a table. I insert some sort of no database selected. Okay, fine. Yeah. And I inserted a table. Sorry. Fine. Now it's working. I just created a table here. Department. I'm going to insert some sort of records into this. So in department, I'm having the features like this, records like this, and then I'm going to create a new table, which is employee one. Okay. And in this employee one, I'm going to assign some sort of records. Okay. Into employee one. Yeah. Now it's fine. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Meeta. I read your message a little bit late. Sorry for that. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Fine. Yeah. Okay. So then after that, as of now, I just created two table. the first one, which is department. Right? I choose table name as a department. So select all from department that I need to mention here. As of now, in terms of department, I'm having this record. Then select all from table name, which is nothing but EMP1. EMP1. Once I run this, it gives me records like this. And then as of now, we are going to discuss about a query. Okay. So suppose I'm interested in to find out the average salary from my table, which is employee average salary. Average salary from EMP1. EMP1. So to write that, I need to mention select average salary or AVG from I am interested in finding out the average salary from EMP1 where salaries, let me find out the first thing, the average salary. So this will help me to find out the average salary, which is 78,000, right? This is my average salary. I'm just assigning a aliasing name, average salary. Okay. Average salary. So once I execute that, you can see it provides us the aliasing name as average salary. Then after that, if I'm interested in to find out the records with a salary less than 78,000. Okay, records less than 81,000. Sorry, not 81, 78,000. How to see that? Sorry, my bad. Okay, in this case, I just need to mention a query like, okay, select all from my table name, which is employee one, where salary is less than 78,000. If I write that, which will give me the records who are having a salary less than 78,000, right? Less than 78,000. Yeah, that's correct. Perfect, Bhavna. After that, if I use the same thing, okay, I just want to see the same thing with the help of subquery. Then I'm interested in find out the records with the salary less than 78,000, less than 78,000 with the help of subquery. How we are going to see that? So I need to write a query which is select all from my table name, which is nothing but EMP1. EMP1. I just need to use where clause where salary is less than. In subquery, I'm going to use select average, and in that function, I'm going to use a function feature which is salary, and I'm going to assign. I'm going to consider that from my table name, which is nothing but EMP1. Once I run this line, which will give all the records from this employee one table. Okay, it give me those records whose salary, which is less than average salary, which is less than 78,000. You can see there are only two names as of now whose salary is less than 78,000, less than 78,000. This is the thing. So now I just want to find out the maximum salary from employee one based on the department ID. So I'm going to use a group by here. So I'm just going to use select max salary. Okay, max salary from my employee table, EMP1 table, EMP1 table. I'm going to use a group by function. I'm going to use group by function, and I'm grouping by department ID. Department ID. Once I run this, it gives me the records based on the department ID. So if you observe, if I execute a line like select all from my EMP1, and if I run this line, we are having a different department ID, right? We are having a department ID. Okay. And if I run like query like select all from department, I think I mentioned spelling in the proper way. Yeah. Okay. So in terms of department table, we are having ID, we are having a name. Okay. 1, 2, 3, IT, IT, HR, finance, right? Then along with that, we are having an employment table where we are having a features like, okay, like we are having ID here, right? Name, salary, and department ID, right? Department ID. So basically, we just link these two features together. So here we are having a ID1, ID2, ID3, so on and so forth. So let me write this in the proper way. So name as Ravi, salary 60,000, second record Priya, salary 80,000, department ID as 2, third record Mohan, salary 75,000, ID second, fourth record which is Silpa, salary as 90,000, ID 1, fifth record which is Manoj, ID 85,000, department ID as 3. Okay. Then here in this case, what we are going to do, so we are having a department ID here and ID. So we use a foreign key over there, right? So the based on the same, we are trying to see the data. Okay. So if I execute this particular line, no, select max salary from employee 1 group by department ID. So it will give us the max salary based on the department, from IT department, whoever having the highest salary, that record will provide to us. The same for HR and same for finance. Okay. Then after that, let's understand the next thing. As of now, we are having some time, so let's discuss that. So I'm interested in find out the select. I'm just going to select the second highest. Select the second highest. We know that. Select the second highest. Second highest salary from my table name from employee EMP1, right? How to check that? In this case, I'm interested to find out the second highest salary from my employee table. We know that if I use select all from EMP1 and if I apply order by, I just mentioned salary. Okay, salary. If I just mention salary and I just mentioned DESC, which will give me all the records. Okay, all the records from highest to lowest. You can see here highest to lowest. We are having a highest salary which belongs to Shilpa. And if I just mention limit one, if I mention that, it will give me only one record with the highest salary which belongs to Shilpa, right? Which belongs to Shilpa, right? Yes, that's perfect. Absolutely correct. So here, once you write a limit one, then we need to mention offset one, offset one. So which will give me the second highest salary, which will give me the second highest salary, which belongs to Manoj. To verify that, what I can do here, select all from, or if I just ignore this as of now, to verify that whether the Manoj is the second highest earner or not, if I run this line, okay, not, I'll just ignore this also. Okay. Okay. Manoj earning second highest after 90,000, we are having 85,000. So that is the thing. So if you are interested in find out the second highest, then we need to mention DESC limit one, offset one. If you are interested in to find out the third highest, then we need to mention offset 2. Then in that case, it will provide us the record pertaining to Priya. So once I execute that, it will give us a record for a Priya. Give us a record for a Priya. This is the thing that we need to understand. Okay. So then suppose we need those salaries which are less than maximum salary, then we can use the same thing, right? We can use the same thing that we discussed earlier, right? Instead of average, just mention max here. That's it. If you just change this max average to max, which will give us the record which having the which providing you those records whose records having the salary which is less than maximum salary. You can do the same. Okay, you can do the same for minimum, you can do the same for average also, right? This is the thing. So as of now, we discuss about subquery, we discuss about foreign key, we discuss about views. So kindly, whichever the topic that we discussed today, try to practice that. Just practice that. Whichever the topic that we learned today, try to practice that. But if you just want to know, right? So suppose as of now, if I randomly create any, let's create one small thing here. Okay. So suppose if I create a new database, okay, create new database. Let's take demo or BBBB. Okay, I create this database as of now, and I use this database BBBB one time. Okay, if I refresh the schemas, okay, if I refresh the schemas, and if I go to the BBBB, suppose you are interested in to find out if you are interested to load some sort of CSV file. So how you are going to load a CSV file? So in that case, just click a right button. Okay, we are having a data import wizard. If you click on that, if you're having a file, just mention that file location, click on next. Okay, let me try that if I'm having any kind of file. I don't think so. I'm having, let me check. Not really. Okay, fine. I'll choose this one as of now. Okay, so next, click on next, click on next, next, next. Okay, and next. Okay, finish. And if you refresh your schemas, and if you go to tables, you're having a feature, you're having a table here. To retrieve the data, what you can do, if you're having this icon, small icon over here. Third one. If you load a CSV file into the data, then just click on this third icon that you're seeing. Just once you click on that, which will provide you all the data pertinent to that particular file. This is the thing. Along with that, if you are interested in to create a table, we are having option which is create a table. Create a table. So whichever the table that you want to create, just mention the table name. Let's create small table std. Okay, std. Okay, you want to assign a feature name. So let's take ID, integer. Okay, if you want primary key, automatically. Okay, primary key. Okay, if you want a second feature, let's take a student. Let's take a student name. Data type varchar. If you want the next feature, just mention age here. Okay, age here. Okay, if you want another data type, you can choose any. You're having a multiple options, integer and all. Okay, and just click on apply. Click on apply. You can see whichever the code that you mentioned, like manually, it do this for you automatically. So this is the thing. We are having this kind of options available into the MySQL. Okay, we are having those things. Kindly practice it. Okay, kindly practice it. And if you want to watch this videos again, we are having a YouTube channel. So kindly search for a 360DigiTMG, and this particular model will provide the link. We are providing the videos of that. So kindly practice it. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay. The thing is, okay, we'd already discussed that, no? delete from table name. Okay, delete from table name. Apply condition where first name is equals to that particular name. But before that, whenever you're going to apply a delete function now, just try to disable the safe mode. Once you disable the safe mode, then you can update that. Okay. So yeah, yes, Sai Prasad, you can apply that with the help of update function. You can do that with the help of a delete function. If you want to delete particular record, then use a delete function along with the where condition. Okay. Okay, then that's it from mine for today. Yeah. So I hope whichever the thing that we discuss, it's a little bit clear to you. Kindly practice it.
Sir,
Yes,
any interview questions, sir?
sorry.
Like some asking any interview questions in interviews. Sir.
So okay, fine. The thing is, if you search for our website, no, 360DigiTMG, we are already provided some sort of questions for you guys. Just search for
Based
website
on
of ours,
SQL,
360DigiTMG. We are having some sort of questions on our website. So kindly utilize this website. We are having a different sources also. Kindly search for that. Okay. Yeah. Yes, we can. We just did this Vamshi. We did that just now. Okay. So if you want to import a Excel file, no. So just click on just click on this table. Click a right click. We are having option called table data input wizard. Just click on that. Just browse whichever the file that you want to load into the SQL. Just browse that. Click on next. Click on next. I'm already having this file. I just uploaded because of that. Yeah. Next. And you can use this file. Okay. You can use this file. Okay. Okay, then guys, that's it from mine. Okay. So kindly practice it. Kindly practice it. Okay. Kindly practice. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Okay, that's it from mine. See you. Yeah. So I hope you understand the concept of SQL, and yeah, I hope you understand this. I hope if you practice good in the good way, in the constructive way, definitely whichever thing that you want to achieve in your life, you're going to achieve. Okay. Okay, that's it from mine. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. No, there is no session. Okay. Tomorrow onwards, Shashita. Yeah. Santi. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Meghna, Nivedita. Thank you, Venkateshwari. Vamshi. Thank you so much. Bhavna. Thank you so much. Yeah. Mahita. Yeah. Divakar. Manoj. Varshita. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ishwar. Yeah. Thank you so much. That's it from mine, guys. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Bye, guys. Take care.